On April 6th of 2013, the Pokemon Company just announced a brand new Pokemon that looks insanely similar to a very powerful Pokemon we received many years ago on our very first Pokemon journeys, Pokemon Red and Blue. This mysterious new Pokemon shares a lot of similarities to the legendary Pokemon Mew, and even more so, Mewtwo. I know I normally don't talk about gaming news, but this kind of like stuck me in the childhood testicles. Before we get into any assumptions, we know for an absolute fact that the Pokemon Company has said this about this new Pokemon. This new Pokemon shares many traits with Mewtwo, and it's suspected that the newly discovered Pokemon has a connection with Mewtwo, a powerful Pokemon that debuted in Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. What is this new Pokemon? How will you encounter it in Pokemon X and Y? When will you know more? One thing is clear. Your readers will certainly want to debate the meaning of this new Pokemon. Keep in mind that the company itself said this, so unless they're being insane trolls and misleading us, this Pokemon most likely does indeed have to do with Mewtwo. It's like your parents telling you a few days before your 18th birthday, "It'd be nice if you were to get a car on your birthday, right son? It'd be surely spectacular if you were to somehow get that new little car you wanted, right?" Yeah, you gotta get the point. You can kind of assume you'd get that car if that was you, unless, like I said, they were being total trolls. Now first, let's take a look at the possibility that this could be another Mew copy. I highly doubt that this would be an evolution of Mewtwo, since currently the only way to obtain Mewtwo would be at a fairly high level. Unless you would need it to be like, friggin' level 89 to turn into this! If it needs to be at a lower level to evolve, let's say around level 40, you would most likely need to have a lower level Mewtwo, or maybe a baby version? I don't know. But let's just assume we can rule out that this is an evolution. The theory I mostly support is that this could be another possible attempt of copying Mew, and making, a stronger version, but perhaps by whoever or whatever the new villains are in X and Y, since we don't know yet. And you can kind of conclude that the genetic replication may have gone terribly wrong by looking at the genetic mutation that might have occurred on its head. The tail is no longer on its ass. However, I could be way off since I don't really have that much information. In the footage that was released, you can see this new Pokemon using moves that Mewtwo most likely would be using. But we also need to remember that if it's another attempt at copying Mew, Mew is able to use any move there is in the history of Pokemon Foreverness existence. Now aside from assumptions, what does this new Pokemon mean? Could it mean that the Pokemon Company wants to return to older Pokemon to answer some questions that were left unanswered? Or do you think that they're running out of ideas and can no longer come up with new Pokemon? Especially, after this! But if they are indeed returning to older Pokemon in this new game, the following might be a result. A possible fourth branch in evolutions, other forms of certain older Pokemon, more types, or the one thing I've wanted ever since the second generation. Another Pikachu evolution. I don't know why, I just want one. I think it'd be pretty cool. Anyways, also, to support the whole returning to older Pokemon theory, they did show the next Eevee evolution. But, they kind of do that in almost every generation. Anyways, in the end, I don't know everything, so I could be way wrong. This is just my opinion, and would definitely love to hear yours. So please don't put any hateful comments trying to put me down. I'm very open for different thoughts and opinions. I am definitely excited for this Pokemon X and Y and for this new Mew. But all our thoughts will be set aside when they reveal this new Pokemon, where they air the next new Pokemon movie, Extreme Speed Genesect, Mewtwo's Awakening.